All right, we are going to put in order from greatest to least. This is with review set 2, slide 3, sorry. All right, so I want you to remember what we say about denominators. The bigger the denominator, the smaller the piece, meaning the least it is, okay? So remember when we did our pizza and I just shared it with Emma, and then Olivia and Charlie came, so then there were 4 of us, so we each had 1/4. And then some of the classmates came and I only got 1/8. And then more people came and I only got 1/16. I remember each time people came, my piece got smaller and smaller because my denominator got bigger and bigger. The bigger the denominator, the smaller the piece. So if the bigger the denominator, the smaller the piece, I'm going to circle the biggest denominator. 8 is the biggest, which means 1/8 is my least. Okay, well, what's my next biggest number? 1/6. 6 is my next biggest number, so then 1/6. And my next biggest is 3, so 1/3. And my smallest is 2, so 1/2. And we know that half is going to be greater than 1/6 because half of 6 would have been 3/6, right? And half of 8 would have been 4/8. But we didn't have that. We only had 1 of each. So 1/2 is the biggest, then 1/3, then 1/6, then 1/8. If I was going to draw this, you're going to have to be patient with me. Okay. Whoops. Let's go back. There's a half. Okay. Gotta love my thirds. There's a third. Okay. That's how I did my 6s. There's a 6th. And there's my 8th. So 1/2 is the biggest, 1/8 is the smallest. All right, quotient keyword. Okay, quotient means to divide. It does tell us to divide. Read it with me as we write it. 361 divided by 5. Remember our fun saying, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? Raw stands for divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, repeat, or remainder. Those are our steps. All right, so the first thing I have to ask is how many times does 5 go into 3? Well, 5 can't go into 3. I could go through the steps and put a 0. It goes in 0 times. I multiply, I subtract, I still get 3. All right, 3 is less than 5. That's my checking. And then I can bring down. Now, you could have easily just gone on to 36. And remember, sometimes we just put that X there, the multiplication sign there, and go on to 36. Either way is fine. Okay, 5 into 36, if you count by 5s, it goes in 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. I subtract, and I get 1. 1 is less than 5, so I know I did it right. This looks messy. I'm going to take this away. Oh, no. There we go. All right. So 1 is less than 5. Now, if I bring it down, we must repeat. So 11 divided by 5 goes in 2 times. 5 times 2 is 10. When I subtract, I get 1. I have nothing to bring down. It is less, so that's my remainder. To check my work, I'm going to take my quotient times my divisor and add my remainder. So I'm going to take 72 times 5. 5 times 2 is 10. I did my 1s times my 1s, now my 1s times my 10s. That's 35 plus 1 is 36. Did it match? No, that's because we didn't add our remainder. Now does it match? It does. So my answer is 72, remainder 1. Hope you got that right. If not, keep practicing. Okay, which fractions are equal? All right, so looking at the first two, 3/8 and 3/7, you know that they're not going to be equal because our numerators are the same, but our denominators are different. We have 8 pieces, so 3 out of 8 versus 3 out of 7. So for sure, those are not going to match. And I know also that if I do anything to 7, I am not going to be able to get to 16. So I know this is going to be trash. Well, let's try to make 3/8 into 6/16. Well, let's think about it. How can I remember when we manipulate fractions, we either have to multiply or divide depending if we're going up or down. So we're getting bigger, so we're going to multiply. Well, I know that 8 times 2 is 16. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 3 times 2 is 6. So 3/8 is equal to 6/16. All right, are these models greater than, less than, or equal to a half? Well, what's half of 4? 2. So this, and the picture shows it as well, this is equal to a half. What's half of 6? 3. So this is also equal to a half. Well, it's really hard for what is half of 7. Some of you guys got really good at that. Remember, we always looked at halves to kind of gauge whether or not it was a bigger or number fraction. Half of 7 is 3.5. Well, 6 is greater than 3.5. Plus, 6 is only 1 away from 1 whole. So we know that this is greater. So 6/7 is greater than 1/2. The models really helped. Excuse my messy models, but the models did really help. Here we're going to find the sum. You all know that sum means add plus they gave it away with the addition signs, but you all know that. Okay, if our denominator is the same, we keep it the same and we add our numerators. 1 plus 1 is 2. All of my denominators are the same, so I'm going to keep it the same. And I add my numerators. I have 3 of them. My denominators are the same, we keep it the same. And I have 3 for my numerator. Same here, they're all 5s. Count my numerators, 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, which model represents the sum? Again, sum means to add. Again, they showed us the sign. My denominator is the same, we keep it the same. And 5 plus 4 is 9. I didn't draw the pictures this time because that would have been really messy. So we have B, 9/12. For me, reading it off the screen was pretty hard. I hope you guys didn't have as hard enough time counting all those little pieces. But B is our answer, 9/12. I hope you did well today.